Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to another third channel property video. Looking around at houses in London is a surprisingly fun thing to do, but it does have one depressing fact, and that is the price. Whether it's $500,000 or 60 million, it's usually very out of reach to even imagine living in one of these places, and many people will say that you should live in a nearby town to save money, but these are still very expensive because of their sheer proximity to London. You can still spend millions in Guildford or Hertford, and so this gets me thinking, given that the average UK property price, in London at least, is 528,000, where it's drastically lower in the other regions. Where in the UK should you live if you were solely shopping around based on price? People do this for every other thing in their life, so why would you not do it for the most expensive purchase you're ever going to make? If you want to get the best deal possible, it's never going to be in London, but instead is going to be found in one of these places, and so we're going to be going through the top 5 most affordable towns and seeing what it would be like to truly live there and how much you can spend, and boy will it be shocking, because if we go in with a £528,000 budget, it might just be a little too high. So what we're going to be doing is saying that if the average property price in Fleetwood is 133,000, let's see what the average house there actually will look like by comparison. So this is Fleetwood, and our max price for today will be £130,000. Let's see what you can get. So Fleetwood is of course found in, actually I don't actually know for sure. It's all the way up there on this peninsula that has Blackpool on it. So you'd be very, very close to one of the UK's natural wonders, and if you were to live in Fleetwood, you could have a lovely house by the sea for just £82,000. That's a Victorian terrace house. One of these would cost you, $500,000, $750,000 anywhere in London. But up here, 82,000, and it's not in bad condition. It comes with a free mirror, it looks like even. This is actually very solid, you might say, for the price especially. And yeah, if you were even more concerned, by the way, look, there's just so many houses here. It seems as though you get almost all of them with this search radius. You can live one block from the bed in an apartment, from the beach in an apartment. You could live also a few steps from your bed, but yeah, you could have these lovely flats right next to the sea, and even this one right next to the beach for £89,000. On the inside, it looks a bit weird furniture-wise, but once that's all gone, you'd have a very lovely house, right? It has one of these weird alleyways you could go into. It's got a yellow bathroom. Some people love that. It's got a room just for exercising in. This looks pretty good to me, actually. Yeah, look at this. It's a funky shaped house, but I kind of like that. This is the thing, this is the possibilities that you have if you're just willing to ignore location, because ultimately the one big reason that people say they need to stay in one place is to be near their jobs or their friends. But if you don't have those things tied into one place, or you're willing to move them, then boy does this seem like a good deal to me. Wow, a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. This would be a expensive thing in a lot of the rest of the country. £125,000. And even better than this, if you're the sort of person who likes to speculate, you're like, I feel like I want to make some money from a house. Well, this one sold for £98,000 during the financial crisis, and so bear in mind, in the last 17 years, it's gone up 25% more or less, which means that if you think that things always, if you believe that if things have barely gone up, that they're gonna have to go up later, then this is one of the best investments you could make. Speaking of one of the best investments you could make, what if we go back to the search and look at the 4th best town? That would be Maryport in Cumbria. So Maryport in Cumbria, I'm gonna be honest with you here, I have never heard of in my life, but that is because it is a hidden gem on the coast of the Irish Sea, I'm guessing. Yeah, look at this right here. You'd be able to look at Scotland from your window if you had a telescope. And what is it like to live in Maryport? Well, let's look at a house first of all. 2-bedroom house, attractive holiday let for £68,000. Oh, looks sure nice, doesn't it? Except, like, I think the outside looks kind of rough, but on the inside it actually does look incredibly nice. £68,000 to live on the street in a fair home that you could come and live in. And if we come and see what it looks like in Maryport, so this is the town right here. It's not a nowhere place. It does have a train station, which is great. That's connections to the rest of the country. You've got a pub. It looks like a fish and chip store. It looks like one of those like would have been a seaside towns at one point, which is fairly nice. I feel as though there are some people who are going to come here and want to go on holiday, and if you can like get a holiday every single day of the year, isn't that the dream? Why would you live in a place that's just known for business and cities and everything when you can have every single trapping of modern day life? There's a tandoori place, there's a fish and chip shop, there's even the beach and the river and everything. There's a Greg's. Okay, this is officially it. You get pizza, you get get Chinese, you get another pizza, you get a tea room, you get another cafe. This is everything that you need to live in a town, and you get it for the low price of just £68,000. I do think this is going to be hard to beat, unless that's drastically lower than the actual average. It doesn't seem to be, yeah, like 95,000. You can spend 40,000 at auction, so more than 40,000. But still, the fact that you can spend less than 6 digits in the UK in 2024, it's depressing that I have to say that, because it is just a home, a thing you need to live. But being able to get one for this price sure does seem pretty good. So next up, we have a town I do actually know, Seaham. So this is one of those interesting towns in the UK, because Seaham is located all the way over here. So, right here. And it's one of those seaside towns that people invested big in during the great financial crisis. It had the highest rate of house price increase during the 2007-2008 years. And it's just that ever since then, it's never truly recovered. And so this means that if you're the sort of person who likes to, you know, buy low, sell high, even ignoring the fact that it's a nice seaside town, Seaham is the place to be. I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive if you go to a nice place. Nope, £79,000. But I think if you want to be like right next to the beach, as you would, then this isn't the wrong town for you. I think Seaham doesn't have an actual beach; it just has a harbour. But still, you can spend £90,000. You can spend £125,000. You're spending these small amounts of money for places that have tenants already, apparently. But you're also, did I say a cat, or I imagine the cat? I think that's just the Scooby-Doo I saw. But yeah, this is a fine place that you could get for just £69,000. And if you look for the property sale history, you'll see what I was just mentioning. Like, it sold in 1998 for £25,000. Then it sold in 2006 for £60,000. And it's gone up in price, what, like £9,000 ever since then? That is a very, very low growth. And if you're the sort of person who believes that eventually these downbeaten assets will become better performing, this is the place to be financially. And if you don't care about that on the finance level, after all, a home is just a place to live. Seaham is a wonderful, wonderful town, and let me sell you on why. Okay, first things first, you gotta Wetherspoons. Cheap alcohol whenever you need it. That is the one thing we do in the UK. And oh, you've eaten your alcohol, you've drunken your alcohol, but now it's closed. What do you need? Fish and chips. Oh, you want fish and chips, but you don't like Downey's fish and chips? Try Bell's fish and chips instead. Maybe you'll like it more. Or maybe you'll like the Seaham Chippy. There are lots of fish and chip stops here. There's more pubs. The Coal House over here. There's a B&M Express. I didn't know you could get those. What does a B&M Express look like? Wait, okay. That is insane. Did anyone know they did B&M Express? I did not. You get them in Seaham, you do. Obviously, you know, like the people leaving the town seems like a bad thing if you're trying to think about up and up growth. But actually, I bet that means there's very little traffic in the area if you were to drive. And if you weren't to drive, the great news is they're on a rail line. I don't know where the rail line goes. I'd imagine it's a dead end somewhere. Oh no, it's not. It goes all along the coast, so you could then get to all the places you need to do, because this is a busy railway station. Look at this. There's trains coming through here. Fancy big trains, it looks like, too. Don't you want to be a part of this? I think you do. Also, I imagine that from Seaham to, say, Sunderland, or maybe even Newcastle if you want to go crazy, but let's just say Sunderland. Seaham to Sunderland is just a short bus ride away, or you could walk it, or you could bike right along the coast to get there. I mean, not apparently along the coast. I don't know why this would be more efficient than that, but sure. The fact is that you can be near to a town and a big city while still spending so little money. If it's the right city, or the wrong city you might say, pretty wild if you ask me. Seaham is the place to invest on a purely psychological level, but there are two cheaper places than this. Blythe and in Northumberland, and Hartlepool. So Blythe, first of all, is a place that I honestly have no impression of before just now. Blythe it sounds like a concerning place, but it is also on the coast. At some point, we must have assumed that the coast was where everyone was going to live, and then maybe we changed our mind. Maybe these people are bearish about global warming. They think, it's not going to go so well. But look at this. On the outside, looks a bit weird, sure. On the inside, looks perfectly nice. You get this lovely outdoor area. You get this is fun. Look at that. You get a little bedroom. This is great. This is a big bathtub too. That is fancy, or it was fancy like 10 years ago. This is a perfect. Oh, this is a weird layout. You have to walk through the bathroom to get to the bedroom, or maybe you can go through the wardrobe. But either way, I think that's strange. This is a very, very odd layout for a home, but still. For £65,000, no one's complaining. In fact, let's go look at Blythe. I'm gonna have to vibe out where Blythe is. Is that Blythe there? Yeah, it is. So this is Morrison's. This is the local pub, the Wallor. And this is a whole shopping centre you get. There's a card factory, a YMCA, a British Heart Foundation. You know, lots of charities because the people here are very giving. There's a Greg's, there's an EE, and a Bon Marché. Honestly, you could survive in a place like this, and you might even thrive. And better than that, right? There's a Lidl, and there's an Aldi, and there's an Asda. You get free of your basic supermarkets, all the goods covered, and a B&M. Not even a B&M Express, a full B&M and a Farm Foods. This is every single like budget supermarket all in one place. I love that. You would save money on your groceries as well as everything else, and all you gotta do is live barely north of Newcastle. I bet, in fact, this might be better if you're a city person like me. You need to be near your city. You're just a 30-minute drive from Newcastle, which is pretty decent if you ask me. You know, just drive into Newcastle every time you need something that isn't your B&M or your your basic fish and chip store. What is not to love about this? Also, there's a beach. Let's go look at Blythe Beach. I bet it's nice there. Oh, is it nice here? You know, this is nice. Yeah, I don't like the beach personally. I think it's sandy and I think it just ruins your day. But if you love sand, look at this. It's sandy and there's water and there's grass. It's all free environments that people like to live in, and you get them all for free in this one. But there is one more home that we should look at, and that's in Hartlepool, County Durham. The average home value, the median rather, that is the middle, is £106,340. Just again, I know this is being very London-centric. There are lots of places in the UK that are not London, but if you put in the average home price in this town, in London you get a 40% share of a flat, you get a first floor retirement property, or a shared ownership flat, or you get a parking space. You own a tiny percent, or you have to retire somewhere where when you die they take the home off you, or you get a car parking space. And even then, not all of the car parking spaces will be in your budget at this point. So keep in mind that that's what you get in London. But in Hartlepool, I think we'll get something much more fun. So Hartlepool, we'll go in with just £100,000, right? We're gonna say that nope, I refuse to pay 6 digits for a home. I am someone who is very stern about the fact that homes should never cost more than the tens of thousands of pounds. In fact, let's go down to 90,000. You know, there are still too many homes. Let's go down to 60,000. Let's see what you can get for £60,000 in Hartlepool. Well, first of all, if you need to live near the train station, there's a lovely studio apartment here, but I'll assume you want something a little bit bigger instead. So how about a 2-bedroom house for £40,000? This seems like it's a reference to the past, right? Like, oh, a house for £40,000? That must be 2012. Well, the good news is the prices here are locked into 2007 or the 90s. You can't see how much it sold for, but this is exactly what you can expect. This is a nice house on the outside. But this is like a brand new door, right? I have gotten a brand new door installed. That is a solid 1/40th of the house price just on this nice door. The exterior is painted lovely, and they're missing 1/4 of their downstairs window, but that means they have 3/4. They have a full 75% of their windows in. That's decent when you're paying this little. You could pay this price just to get a small extension done, but you get a whole house at this level, and it's not just a whole house, by the way. So let's go see what else we can get. It's a whole house this close to the train station, but if you're willing to live a little bit closer to, say, amenities on this big terraced house street here, let's see what you'll get there. £18,000. There's something wrong with this house, right? Oh, it's for sale by auction. If you have £20,000 to bid, then this is what you get. They're not going to show you on the inside. They'll just show you 3 photos of the outside. Why would they do that? Were they not allowed inside on the day? Again, you can see how it doesn't have a nice door, so you'd have to get one of those installed separately. Just spend the $40,000. That's my professional advice. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of homes for sale in this area. You can see there's a couple of homes for sale on the water, it looks like. Yeah, okay, 1-bedroom apartment. So it's on the water. You get to see the water every day when you look outside, and you get a nice 1-bedroom. It's got perfect space for a living room and a kitchen and a bedroom and a bathroom, all 4 of those rooms, and it's just 53K. If you actually look, you can see what it's sold for. You can't see this one. I want to get a good vibe for, like, was this place ever expensive and it kind of came down? Or is this a place that's just been slowly ticking along because people just aren't willing to move there? Let's go and find out. Okay, this one right here. This is a house that is selling for £55,000. It's via auction, I believe. Yeah, so it's realistically going to be like a lot more, like an extra 10K minimum. And sure, it's in bad-ish condition. I mean, I wouldn't live in a place that looked like this personally. I would want to clean this up first, but why would they take the toilet seat with them? I don't understand how that is such a common thing. But anyway, you can see that it requires a little bit of work, but for £55,000, you get a palatial estate, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Wait, yeah, 2 bathrooms, 1 on both floors. This is a weird layout to do that in, but that's the way they've done so. Wait, this floor plan must be inaccurate. It can't be that the first floor has that there, and then this goes like that, unless the back of the house is overhanging. The floor plan isn't accurate, and the bathrooms aren't in great condition, but for 55k, you can get something that someone bought in 2005 for 45k, which is actually pretty great, in my opinion. This is kind of proof in my... so let's find somewhere that's just objectively nice, shall we? Let's set minimum price to 50k. Let's see what's exactly in this lovely gap. So here is a house. It is nice enough, right? It is a great exterior, and inside there is just 1 photo. Okay. Are estate agents, like, able to survive in this town, by the way? Generally speaking, estate agents take about 1% on when they sell in the UK. I think in the United States it's closer to 6%, but like in the UK, you make about 1% of the sale. And so if all of these places are selling for so cheap, you must have to sell a lot of houses to actually make that money, right? Like to make the same salary you would make anywhere else. But yeah, you can see, here we go, nice house, right? This is a bit rough on the outside, but it wouldn't take much to fix that. You get a really, really nice inside. I think, you know, imagine this without all the furniture and clutter, and you've got a place that, yeah, solid and worth living in for £60,000. And in Hartlepool, let's go there now. I know I'm not going to find it without this. In Hartlepool, you do have multiple, you got a railway station again, but you got a Weatherspoons again, and the local Indian, and Ding, which I'm guessing is a, yeah, it's a Chinese takeaway. You get Thai food, pizza. You've got all of the basic food options that you have in every town. There is no basic amenity that is missing. And then you have a giant shopping center, and you have the beach, and you've got railway connections to get out of there if for some reason you hate it. This seems like a great deal to me, and that is the vague point I want to raise in this video. If you are at a point in your life where you are trying to decide where to buy, people who choose to live in the southeast, let's say, are generally tending to do so because of either, you know, like if you ask people like, wow, it's really cheap there, why don't you live there? They'll say like, oh yeah, maybe it's my job, or maybe it's the friends or the family. Lots of people are tied down, but if you are not tied down to one place and you're willing to save a lot of money, come and live in one of these places, because you can do so at a drastic discount. It is wild, in my opinion, that you can live for £55,000. The amount that you would pay in a deposit, maybe even less than a deposit, in a lot of homes in the southeast, will get you a full home. It will belong to you. There will be no mortgage payments, and honestly, that sounds pretty good. You'll have more money to spend at your local shopping center, or Asda, or McDonald's. Wow. Yeah, I think that is something that is worth considering if you're the person who says, yeah, actually, I don't feel tied down to one place. Look into cheap places in the UK. I wouldn't say any of these 5 are the ones to go for, but there is definitely a value spectrum about what matters to people, and if your job isn't in one place, consider that you could take advantage of that. Or consider that this has been a random person on the internet talking to you, and let me know what you thought of the property video, because I think it might be fun to do the opposite again next week and go, right into where in the UK you can live spending millions outside of London. Because again, people say like, oh, it's so expensive to live in London, but actually you can find expensive places across the UK. So maybe we should go like, well, let's say that £60,000 houses aren't exciting. Where would you want to spend £1 million to live? I think that could be fun. But for now, third channel, don't care. Goodbye.